NBT World, a vision of Thailand.
We have to make sure we keep thinking forward when it comes to education as well, with teacher training, with this conversation that about the exams, and many educators are having that conversation. What's the real value? We are held back a little bit by a system where certain tests determine whether learners get into university.
Swadika and welcome to Thailand Today. In a world where change is constant, education must evolve to prepare students not only for today, but also for an unpredictable future. So what does it really take to equip young minds for success in the 21st century? Joining us today is Dr. Ryan Persaud, head of school at VERSO International School, a place where everyone is committed to preparing students for the challenges of a rapidly changing world. Let's go speak with him right now. Dr. Persaud, it's great to have you join us for Thailand Today. Thank you so much for making the time to speak with us. Could you first introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Dr. Ryan Persaud. I'm the head of school here at VERSO. I've been here for 2 years. Before that, I was in Brazil for 5 years. And before that, I was in South Korea for 4 years. So my family's been international for 11 years, and we originally hail from Canada.
Tell us about VERSO International School now. What makes your school unique from other schools here in Thailand?
Sure. Well, we were purposely built, something to consider. Our owners and our management traveled around the world. They visited 25 different international schools, and they were really looking for the best of the best, design and curriculum, approaches to learning, makeup of staff and families. And they also worked with IDEO, which is a design firm out of San Francisco, and they helped with some of our DNA and our philosophy as well. And the concept of VERSO was born. What makes us unique, I think, is that yes, we are an American curriculum school. We offer advanced placement classes in the upper school as well, like other American curriculum schools do, but it's our approach to delivering the curriculum. We're a project-based school. We use design thinking and teach the design thinking cycle from early years right up to the upper school. We highly value personalized learning and getting our learners out into the field to learn from experiences as part of their learning journey. So yes, while we do have your math class and your English class, we also provide opportunities for our learners to have interdisciplinary experiences through project-based learning. And essentially what that means is taking multiple subjects, could be English with math, maybe design or art, and blending them together to teach our learners through a project or a challenge which they must take on.
So how would you say that this is perhaps a bit more advanced compared to more traditional methods?
I think we're very forward-thinking. We're very progressive. Bangkok does have a lot of international schools. I think everybody knows that, and the marketplace is definitely competitive. But I think what gives us an advantage is that we try and be extremely forward-thinking in our approach. By having students work in collaborative teams, by having them take on real-world problems, by having them fail and learn from failing, this gives, I think, our students a real advantage when they move on either to the next school or they go to university or college or even enter the workforce as they might as well.
So you said your approach to teaching and learning is project-based. So I'm imagining it's thematic, and your educators, they coordinate across subjects? Yeah,
that's precisely it, actually. So we call it Learning Lab, our interdisciplinary time, and in these learning labs you'll have a variety of our learning designers. We call our teachers learning designers because they design learning experiences for the learners. Very progressive in the way of thinking and our approach. And so you'll have learning designers from a variety of subject areas, learning assistants helping out as well. So often you'll have 2 or 3 adults in the room when these learning labs or these projects are taking place. And then when we get to the end of a quarter, the end of the project, then we have what we call as a show time. It's really a celebration of learning. So this is an opportunity for the families to come in. Sometimes it's the outside community as well, and they get to see what the learners have produced. The other learners as well might be from other grades or cohorts, get to come in and see what the learners have done as well. Last year in June, for our final quarter of the year, we actually had a school-wide celebration of learning. So from EY right up to those students in grade 12, we had families and students celebrating and learning and getting to look at each other's work and just appreciate what we're trying to do here at VERSO.
Okay, so EY meaning early years.
Early years, that's right.
Early years all the way to grade 12.
That's right.
Okay, so you mentioned personalized learning earlier, and we also hear other terms like future-ready education.
Yeah.
What do these terms or these approaches mean to you in practice?
So for personalized learning, and you hear a lot of schools talk about this, but we carve out time in our schedule for students to explore learning, and we call this explore time. And so essentially what that means is they get to take on some type of passion project that they're interested in, and our learning designers, our teachers, guide them through this process. That's so the project doesn't become too big or the student doesn't become overwhelmed. But we've had students explore things like wanting to take apart a motorbike. We've had students that have wanted to learn how to sew, so we connected them with a fashion designer in Milan. Last year, we had some students who wanted to run a 3-on-3 basketball tournament for the community as one of their Explore projects. And so they had to learn about project management, hiring out different vendors to come in and provide food, how to actually organize a multitude of teams coming in and plan for the whole day. So you can see all the life skills that get involved. So when we talk about future-ready skills or being future-ready, this is really what we're talking about, is all these projects or these explore experiences that give them skill sets that are going to prepare them for life beyond VERSO. Okay. Being collaborative, being creative, being critical thinkers, being able to be flexible and deal with problems on the fly in the midst of a project, or if they're running a day event and something happens, how do they twist and turn their thinking so they're able to deal with something and still make that day happen.
So when do these passion projects begin, these explore experiences?
Yeah, so they start in elementary, we call it the lower loop. So we have students in cohort 1 and 2 start to get this explore time to take on these passion projects, and then it goes right up into the upper school.
Sounds fantastic. Sounds like fun.
It is. It really is for them, because it's giving them a chance to explore what they want to do, and they often don't get that in regular schooling. Right. They're forced to take all the subject matter. They might get some choice as they get older, but really something that's a real passion for them, they may not have that opportunity to truly explore that.
Okay, so a regular school day for students here begins at 7?
They usually roll in at 7:50. They can roll in at 7:15. Then they've got some time to just be with their friends and have some community time. Day starts about 7:45, 8 o'clock, and then we end at 3 o'clock. And then we have our extracurricular activities or sports after that time.
Okay, let's talk more about the education system, especially here in Thailand, in a broader perspective. What do you think are some of the main challenges that the Thai education system faces?
Well, one of the challenges with having so many international schools in the city or in the country is that there really is going to become almost like a knowledge gap or an opportunity gap between all the international schools and what they have to offer, let's say Thai students or the foreign expats here, and those local schools. So I really see an opportunity to bridge that gap and try and provide opportunities for possibly local students or local schools to partner with these international schools who are typically well funded and have the resources that they could provide opportunities to those who maybe come from a lower socioeconomic background. Opening up events. We held our hackathon last year, and we opened it up to students all over the country who can come and participate. I know that international schools offer scholarships as well, so that's one opportunity to bring in students and kind of try and challenge that wage gap and that those, give opportunities to those students who are from a lower socioeconomic status.
Tell us more about a hackathon. To me, that means, I think, computer hacking, but I don't think that's what it means.
No, it's really a design challenge. So for us, it could be something around sustainability. So how could they make travel more sustainable, or ecotourism or something like that? And we'd have the learners come in. Their teams are created for them. So we had 40 schools come in last year. And even if learners came from the same school, they would be partnering with children from other schools, to learn how to collaborate and build teamwork and those types of skills. Then they have a whole weekend to go through this design challenge and come up with their solution. Then we had expert judges come in, and they have to present that to the judges.
Wow, quite a challenge for them.
Yes, again, an opportunity for real life skills. Not everybody is successful, but they get feedback from the judges so they can try and improve the next time around.
Right. Okay, are there any areas that you've seen that you consider to be encouraging signs of progress or innovation within the Thai education system?
Certainly, let's pan out for a second first. I think there's been real strides in the country around business innovation and sustainability. Last year, we had the opportunity to go to an AmCham event and hear the president speak, and there was a lot of speak about sustainability for the country, which really impressed me.
It's a buzzword.
Yes, but hopefully they follow through with what's being, the foundation that's being laid down and the promises that are being made, because I think there's great opportunity there. And I think coupled with that, because Thailand has such large amounts of tourism, I think there's a real opportunity for sustainability there, right, in terms of ecotourism. And then I think innovation as well. One of our parents is the CEO of Siam AI, which is a Thai artificial intelligence company. And so we know there's other companies like that are burgeoning here in Thailand and Bangkok and just trying to push the envelope and build innovation. Traditionally, the GDP has been driven by tourism and agriculture, and I think there's real strides being made for those levels. So with that, I think if we kind of hone back in on education, there's real opportunities for Thai students who are in international schools to stay in the country and be able to push the boundaries of that sustainability or that business innovation.
How do you think public and private schools can work together to improve education across the board?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I've seen international schools do well is offer professional learning. So I think there's some great opportunities there to partner with local schools and maybe local teachers and have them come in. We've got ISAT, which is the International Schools Association of Thailand, and they've been making strides in terms of trying to partner with local schools and provide those types of opportunities. I think providing space as well. So if there's space, we sit on a large campus, so if there's space that can be given up or shared with local schools to provide those opportunities, I think that's a way to bring the whole country up in terms of education and the economy.
Okay, so you open the floor to an exchange of knowledge and experiences as well.
I think all international schools should be.
Okay, let's talk about COVID-19. We're still, feeling the effects. But how do you think COVID-19, the pandemic, how did it shift the way that educators and school leaders alike, how they view or how they think about teaching, learning, and also the use of technology?
The first point is that teachers were forced, and this is a good thing, to become experts with technology. Many schools, whether they're public or the international schools, you have those experts on staff that are really good with technology, and there may be pockets of them. What the pandemic did is it thrust all educators into the seat of having to learn tech tools so they can become educators online and be able to run Zoom or Google Meet and use other tech tools, Google Suite and things like that, to be able to successfully deliver content.
Thailand is rapidly transforming into a smart MICE innovation hub where technology, infrastructure, and policy converge to support business events of the future. the country offers seamless digital solutions for planners and delegates alike. The Thailand Convention and Exhibition Bureau or TCEP leads with a one-stop MICE service platform, and streamlined MICE lanes at major airports ensure swift arrivals. Thailand provides not just convenience, but sustainable innovation at every step. This is where digital advancement meets global business vision. This is Thailand.
How else do you think the pandemic shapes the way that schools operate today?
Yeah, I think, people had to become much more flexible. They had to become much more open to learning new things. And they had to become much more capable of dealing with roadblocks or curveballs that come into play. I think, again, to my Brazilian context, we were dealing with a situation where we would have a variety of governmental decrees week by week. And so that impacted how many students we could have on campus at any given time. So we were changing our schedule every single week so that we could, bring on campus as many students as possible, yet adhere to the decree that was being given to us. I think what's interesting about now that we see we're in a post-pandemic society is that in education we run the risk of falling backwards, and I do see this with schools. That I think there were so many valuable lessons learned during the pandemic, some of which I just mentioned, but we run the risk of not adhering to any of them because it was a disruption to education. And a disruption in good ways and bad ways as well. And sometimes, because humans are humans, we fall back into what's comfortable instead of continuing to push the envelope. I think that's one of the things I really love about working here, is that we get to be very forward-thinking on a continual basis. One of the things I think is important to mention about the pandemic as well, a valuable lesson, is that sense of human connection. We've always known schools are hubs of connection and community, right? And so having everybody online really made you realize that, because some students really did struggle without that sense of human connection and just being able to be in a classroom and be with people that cared for them and adults that cared for them on a daily basis. So I think one of the things I could say about many schools is that we've really come to appreciate that human connection piece.
All right, so there's a growing discussion globally about moving away from exam heavy education. So what's your take on how student learning should be assessed?
Well, I am here in a design school, in a project-based learning school, so I'm a big advocate for having a shift. I'm not saying that we need to get rid of exams in its entirety. I know we offer advanced placement, as I said, and when students choose to take advanced placement courses, they do have to take an exam at the end. We know the IB program, that some schools offer has the internal assessments, and those are exam-like. So there is a time and a place for it. But what we advocate for and what I believe in is that students need to have a variety of assessments, because every student is built differently. They're neurologically different, and some assessments work for some and some work for others.
Very true.
When I think about my work, and probably yours too, I'm never, I report to the board, and they never sit me down in a room and give me a piece of paper in 2 hours and I have to deliver something to them, right? They let me know when something has to be delivered. I've got time to work on it. I've got time for feedback. I can collaborate with colleagues. I can use the technology for research and things like that. Of course, deadlines are something that we have to teach our learners, and I think that's an important lesson, whether it's an exam or a project. But I think there's just so many other opportunities for assessment for kids, whether it is a project, it is giving a speech, it is giving a performance. So really trying to do things in a variety of ways, because they're all built differently.
So your school is focused on preparing students for the future. What skills or competencies do you believe are most important for students in the coming decade?
I think that I've mentioned collaboration, creativity, critical thinking. I think flexibility, adaptability are there. Being able to have that sense of human connection, having EQ. For decades it was all about IQ. What we know the last few decades has really been talking about emotional quotient and right those interpersonal skills, which I think can transcend any industry or any education level that students may aspire to. And I think they have to understand themselves as learners too. I think that's really important, because what I've seen in education is that teachers or educators, learning designers, people in leadership like myself, we're always learning, we're always taking courses. And I know that holds true for many other industries. So it's not like, let's say, they're gonna finish at VERSO and maybe go to university, finish one degree, and that's gonna be it for the rest of their life. We know there's gonna be a time and place when they're gonna have to study again. And so, setting them up to have a love of learning and know how to learn and what works for them, I think is really important, as well as a future-ready skill.
Right, lifelong learning is important now,
Absolutely, yeah. And we know that just technology is currently changing, so I think just having some familiarity with technology and being able to use it in an ethical way. I'm sure we're going to talk about AI at some point, and so that's one of the things I think about for us here at VERSO, is that it's not something we're going to shy away from, because it's not going to leave us. But we need to make sure kids are using it in an ethical way, and we're teaching them how to use it in an ethical way. Yeah.
Right. With the rise of AI and digital tools, what about the teachers? How do you see their role evolving?
Yeah, I mean, one of the wonderful things that I've seen here is that our learning designers haven't shied away from it. We have a great director of technology innovation, and he's held some great in-house workshops, and he's actually presented at some conferences as well. So he's helped shape our AI policy and what our belief system is, along with the leadership team in terms of our schools. So I think teachers are using it. There's some are using it more cautiously than others. And I think that goes with our learners as well. Let's teach them how to use it, be cautious, use it ethically, be able to evaluate it in a critical way, because we know it's only gonna, it's here to stay. I mean, I look at my own workflow, and it just saves me time on a daily basis.
Okay, in addition to making sure that the students learn as much as possible, you also have to look after their well-being. So what kind of support systems do you have in place here at VERSO International School that helps students thrive emotionally and also socially?
Yeah, that's a great question, because technology is one thing, but we need a balance as well, right? So we do have a student success team, so let me start with that. They're great. They offer social emotional support for our learners. For those that need it, but we also have advisory programs here, so every student's part of an advisory team, or we have community time. It's called different things at different levels. So there really is an adherence to that, and with that comes lessons that are embedded, and those are age and stage appropriate for our learners based on what they may need social emotionally.
Okay, and school safety is important for parents and learning designers or educators alike. And so what measures do you take here to ensure that you have a safe learning environment? Yeah,
obviously we scan in. So we have a security team. We do have a large campus, as you and I were talking off camera at the start. We're 66 acres, 168 rise, so it is quite large. So keeping our students, knowing where they are at all times is important. And then we have our student success team, so we have our safeguarding policies in place. So we have policy in place, and there's staff training around safeguarding as well. And then I think that, with that safety and well-being piece, I think there's the social emotional learning, as I mentioned. We also do a lot of work here around inclusion belonging. So whether that's for neurodiverse students or students from different cultural backgrounds, we know that, we're all coming to VERSO to be part of a community, and how we need to respect each other, we need to have dignity, and we need to be inclusive. So we've done some real work with that in the last couple of years, staff training, lessons embedded for learners as well.
That's great. One of the issues that we're facing today is a lot of bullying, cyberbullying as well. So how do you address bullying? How do you prevent it? And how do you promote a culture of respect and inclusion?
Yeah, good question. So I think part of it goes back to being proactive. The lessons that I mentioned earlier that are embedded into the students' daily schedule from early years up to upper school. When an incident does happen, we take it very seriously. So our student success team will get involved along with our loop leaders, which are our principals, and then if it needs to be elevated to my level, it will. Parents are brought in for conversations as well if a situation should arise. But part of that proactive piece, we also do coffee mornings on a weekly basis for our parents, and those cover a variety of topics. So they might cover AI, they might cover online safety. One of the big reads for us as a community last year, many of our leaders read The Anxious Generation, which talks a lot about usage of social media and what is age and stage appropriate and how it affects cyberbullying may affect different learners based on gender and age. So we even had a session where we brought in parents to talk about the book and just give some suggestions.
It's good that you allow everyone to be involved.
It's important, right? The school doesn't operate in a vacuum. Yes, the learners spend a lot of time here, so do the adults. So we do like being here, but we also know when they leave us, they go home and they're with family. So it's important that we have that relationship with parents and families, and they believe that they can be here and be comfortable on campus and take part in the learning that we're giving the learners.
Can I ask you about students with special needs? Do you have anything for them here on campus?
Yes, so we have, like I said, we have our student success team. So they not only deal with the social emotional side, they also deal with those who are neurologically diverse. So we do have support services for students. Through the admissions process, we would we would find out what those needs might be and what level of support we can offer. And some of our learners are actually admitted, they come with a one-on-one. So they will have their own one-on-one support along with the support from the school to help them on a daily basis.
Okay, I wanted to ask you a little bit more about your assessment. So you do have some exams, right?
Yeah.
And you look at students over the entire year, and
That's
then
right.
you can decide that they can move on?
Yeah, I mean, generally, and not to get too long-winded here, but there's a lot of research behind that even if a student is not doing well, not holding them back. The psychological damage or that can be done is very impactful.
Okay.
So we will do everything we can in our power when we notice that students may need some support and may be having some issues to help them get to the next stage.
That's great.
Yeah, and we do track data around math and literacy. We do have quizzes, some tests, and then there is our projects as well. We give out reports 4 times a year. We also have, we call them VERSOs, parent-teacher conferences. So we have those twice a year as well. And then of course, parents can come in anytime that they want to have a conversation with one of our learning designers.
Looking ahead, what do you think needs to be done or what needs to change for education to move forward?
One of the things, and this is really important, is that we need to understand that not every learner's pathway is to leave high school and go to university. They may get there at their own point in time. So we've only had 2 graduating classes. We're very proud of both. One of our learners from our first graduating class is actually a social justice advocate. She will eventually go to university, but she decided to pursue that passion, and she was actually named one of Time 100 under 24 list.
Congratulations, I have goosebumps.
Yeah, she's quite amazing. And so we know that learners and young people out there are leaving high school or even while in high school and starting businesses. We've got one of our learners actually he has 3 YouTube channels, and making money and saving it, which is good. It's good. His parents have him on the right path, But so we know this is a possibility. And it's not to say that learners will never go to university, but it's just that we want to open up different pathways. I think one of the other things is that we have to make sure we keep thinking forward when it comes to education as well, with teacher training, with this conversation that about the exams, and many educators are having that conversation. What's the real value? we are held back a little bit by a system where, certain tests determine whether learners get into university. So there's a bigger system at play, not just international schools, there's also the university system, and that's more of a global conversation. But I think that if there was, there are more progressive ways in my mind that we can evaluate our grade 11 and 12s when we start thinking about putting them off into university. It doesn't have to come down to one test because they're brilliant in so many different ways beyond one test. Anyone can have a bad day or a good day on a test, I like the idea of essays and portfolios and interviews and that holistic view of the learner.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for speaking
You're
with us
welcome.
today and for sharing with us, how learners are wired differently, and we have to appreciate that, and also how we can improve education in the future. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you. Kapun ka.
ขอบคุณค่ะ Education today is all about preparing adaptable and resilient minds for a changing world. Thank you for watching Thailand Today. See you next time. I'm Sandra Han Utsaha. สวัสดีค่ะ